and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing Podblast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aitken from Narrowing the Field. Hello and welcome to Harry Dam, Nicky Henderson and Alice Plunkett. Your ears are burning for a reason. We're off to Goodwood this week, covering 3 races from the 5th and final day of glorious Goodwood. And then it's what you've all been waiting for, the return of top, middle and bottom. And isn't it funny? We've got glorious Goodwood here, the 5th and final day taking place, and me and Ben are talking about national hunt racing. Wow. Before all that, though, Ben, did you take the Northern Express last weekend? Us both.
Yeah, I did, mate. All the way to Winners' Enclosure.
Indeed.
Superb winner for last week's Podblast episode, Northern Express. Lovely stuff.
Good, wasn't it? And I also managed to put that up on TalkSport as well. It still got told off, though, because I didn't put it on Twitter. Oh, good Lord.
Can't please everyone.
No, absolutely. Well, I thought I did the overnights just for people who listen, not for the Twitterati lot. But anyway, great to hear that plenty of you listeners took heed of our positive thoughts on Northern Express, a 22-1 winner of the International Stakes at Ascot last Saturday. Lovely stuff, and thanks for all the kind messages and tweets for those of you who backed the Michael Dodds winner after listening to the pod. Much appreciated. Now for this week's action, and to Goodwood we go with the first of our 3 races under analysis, the Summer Handicap, which is due off at 2:25. And Ben, welcome along. Can you start us off with that one?
Yeah, I can, Tony. The Summer Cup won in 2022 by Trawler Man. He went on to win the Ebor next time out, and last year won by Sweet William, who ran a close second in the Ebor next time out. There's a few in this year, also entered in the Ebor as well. None guaranteed a run in that. Although Calling the Wind and Fairbanks are on the cusp of being guaranteed a run in the Ebor. Same with Intinzo. If any of them won on Saturday, they pretty much guarantee an Ebor place due to the penalty they carry for winning this race. And I have 2 of those that I've mentioned there on my shortlist for this race, Fairbanks and Intinzo. I'd also add Tides of War to the shortlist as well. Fairbanks, he kicked on massively since he entered handicaps and went over 1 mile 4 and further trips. He's won 5 of his 8 handicaps, including last time out at Newmarket. That was his first try at 1 mile 6. He handled that with ease. Likely more still to come from him now he's over marathon trips. I've got prime conditions for him as handicaps over 1 mile 4 or further. Good to softer quicker, or the all-weather. And Dayson's last run, 30 or less, where he is 5 wins and a place from 7 starts. Gets those conditions here. And it should go well again, I think. Fairbanks. Intinzo, he ran a stinker last time out in the Copper Horse Handicap at Royal Ascot. Finished last of the 16 runners. It wore a tongue tie for the first time that day. It's removed here. So I'm assuming they thought that was the reason, or one of the reasons, for the poor run at Ascot. The Goslings do have a decent record in this race. 3 winners, 2 placed from 8 runners. So Intinzo could bounce back to form here. Last run was a little bit of concern, however, but yeah, I can see the potential for Intinzo bouncing back to form. And Tides of War, bit of a globetrotter type. This is only his 5th run in this country. He did win over this course and distance back in May from a £4 lower mark, so he handles the track all good. If he could run to that sort of level again, he could possibly get involved in this. But it would be Fairbanks who interests me the most for the Summer Handicap. He has his conditions here, and he should have more to offer over these marathon trips. So Fairbanks for me. Tony, what have you got for the summer, what we call summer handicap stakes?
Yeah, I'm with you on Fairbanks, mate. I do like him. I like the chances of Fairbanks. Took his tally to 5 from 8 in handicaps when winning the Bet365 trophy at Newmarket of a £6 lower mark on good ground last month. I'll be back in Fairbanks tomorrow, and I'm with you on Intinzo as well. I do like Intinzo. Yard have won this contest for the last 2 years, and this 4-year-old is clearly better than it is when you mentioned there his last poor effort suggests. The tongue tie has been removed for Intenso. So we give him another chance, Intenso. I'm a big believer in giving horses another chance after they've put a stinker in, as we say, and Intenso will be an each way selection for me, as well as Knightswood. Last win came at Ripon over 1 mile 4 furlongs on good ground in a Class 4 contest just over 12 months ago, and he's still racing £8 higher than that mark. So he's hit the frame plenty of times. He's solid and consistent, is Knightwood. And the Johnsons, mainly Mark Johnson, but obviously he's taken over the reins after a year of dual licence holder. 19 runners in the last 8 years. 3 winners and 2 place efforts for Mark Johnson, who's now Charlie has the licence. So a good record in the past for the Johnsons, and Knightswood, who has to overcome a little negative that he hasn't won for over 12 months, but he's still off an £8 lower mark, and that's due to his consistency. So Knightswood, for me, Intenso is a bigger price, and Fairbanks as a single bet. On to the Lillie Langtry, the 3 o'clock, the Group 2 over 1 mile 6 furlongs.
Yeah, I have a shortlist for this Group 2, the Lillie Langtry Stakes. My shortlist is Free Wind, River of Stars, and Oxford, Free Wind was sent off, short price fave for this last year. She sunk in the heavy ground that day. She came out and showed her class on her next run with a head second in the Yorkshire Oaks on Good to Firm. Warm Heart just ahead of her in that Group 1, and the likes of Save the Last Dance and Blue Stocking over 2 lengths behind her. The horses she was giving £9 to, so easy to forgive her blowout in this race last year. If you look at Free Wind at Group 2 level or below, in May to September and not on heavy ground, she is 5 wins and 2 seconds from 8 starts. Only time she didn't place, she finished a close 5th in the Hardwick Stakes against a field of male horses. I absolutely get why she's near the head of the betting in this, and she looks to hold a strong chance. Free Wind. River of Stars ran second in this last year, and that was a mighty effort, as she also isn't a heavy ground lover. She's much happier on good or quicker ground. All 3 of her turf wins coming on good or good to firm. She ran close to her best on winning at Pontefract last time out over 1 mile 4, but I think she's much better at these longer trips. And she should run well again in this Group 2, River of Stars. And Oxford, interests me as she's by Nathaniel. And his 3 and 4-year-old offspring have some solid stats at Goodwood in the July to September period over 1 mile 6 and longer trips, especially those in Nathaniel offspring that are 12 or less career starts on their CV. There are 9 winners, 5 placed from 26 qualifiers, 35% win strike rate, 54% win and place strike rate, and over 40 points profit. So Oxford, is of potential interest at around 20 to 1 or bigger. But I'll go for her stablemate, River of Stars, around 12 to 1. I think she looks a good each way dart in this under conditions. It should be ideal for her. River of Stars, a Free Wind will be bang there as well, but River of Stars and each way dart for me. Tony, what have you got for this Group 2?
Yeah, with you on River of Stars, mate. I won't go with it because obviously you're going with that one, so I will go for one at a bigger price. But before that, I'm going to have a Dutch on Kees Chorister, winner at this venue, as well as a win over a similar trip. This season he's been behind Coltrane in May, Sweet William at Sandown before disappointing in the Gold Cup. He's, as they say, now on the telly, back in calmer waters in Group 2 company here in the Lillie Langtry. I'll be dutching him with Free Wind, finished 4th of 8, beaten over 15 lengths in this contest 12 months ago on heavy ground, as you said, Ben. Run at York on seasonal debut in May, which was a bit of an eye-catching run, to be honest with you. I thought it was quite easy on him, and it was given his first run of the season. So Free Wind, I think he'll come on for that, even though it was in May. He's back tomorrow in the Lillie Langtry at 3 o'clock. Kees Chorister, Free Wind, dutching there. And Sweet Memories, decent run on seasonal debut in the Group 2 Lancashire Oaks at Haydock last month, beaten over 6 lengths on good ground, went slowly into stride that day. And the horses coming into this race from the Lancashire Oaks at Haydock in the first week of July have a good record in this. So Sweet Memories around 18 to 1 will be my each way shot there, as well as Free Wind and Case Chorister. A nice little Dutch that we're going on to. 3:35, it's the big one. Big one for us, loving handicap lovers. Class 2 handicap over 6 furlongs. The Stewards Cup at 3:35.
I'll have to say, though, Tony, you're treading the dangerous waters when you're calling some of those female horses males, mate.
Oh, sorry.
You're going to have the gender police knocking down.
Oh, dear, yeah.
Can't I do that these days, mate?
I'll have to edit it. No.
I'll be honest with you, I always think Keys Chorister is a male horse. I don't know why. I don't know why. Every time I think it's a male, not a mare. I don't know why. Anyway, if the gender police come knocking, it's not my fault. It's on you, mate.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, back to the Stewards.
And I'm just crawling from under the bus.
Hey, I'm just getting you prepared. That's all. Stewards Cup, Class 2 handicap, 28 runners blasting down the straight 6 furlong trip. So well worth having a quick look at the draw on the pace. The way I see it, it looks like the pace is housed in the wings. Stalls 28 and 27 look like the pace up high. Stalls 8, 7 and 1 look like the pace down low. So it could be a bit tricky for those in the middle third of the draw. Jockeys on the horse draw in the middle will need to make an early decision about which side to track across towards to get a toe into the race. Doesn't look any obvious pace angles down the middle of the track. Doesn't mean something from the middle can't win. It does look like the pace horses will be out on the wings. So something for listeners to factor into their analysis. For short list purposes, I am looking at Al-Bashir 5,000 and 5,000 to 1. Name always gets me. Al-Bashir 5,000 to 1. Lethal Levi, Strike Red and Puru Sangwe. Al-Bashir ran 8th in this last year on heavy ground. Would have hated that ground. I'd be much happier on the Rattling Good to Firm he faces on Saturday. He likes to come off a decent pace and be produced late, and he should get that set up here. He's installed 21 and he should be able to hook onto the pace from up high. It also gets his prime conditions to tackle, those conditions being a mark of 105 or less, Class 2 level or less, a straight track, good or quicker ground, or the all-weather, and January to August time, where he is 5 wins and a place from 8 starts, and that's all 5 of his career wins. Holly Doyle also knows him really well. She's ridden him to 4 of his 5 wins, so I like Al-Bashir's chances in this. Lethal Levi, drawn on the other side in stall 8. He's been in excellent form on recent starts since they applied blinkers to him. He's had a win in a Class 2 in Newbury, a 4th in the Wokingham at Royal Ascot, and a 2nd in the Bunbury Cup. He's only £1 higher here than he was in the Bunbury Cup, and he goes well under the condition he meets with on Saturday. A straight 6 furlongs and a break of 45 days or less, being 2 of the main boxes he needs ticked to run to his best. So Lethal Levi definitely high in my thinking. Strike Red is the other I want to mention. He's potentially interesting because he comes alive in the second half of the year. And he's also back down below his last win at Mark. Now, I've got prime conditions for Strike Red as 6 furlongs or 6.5 furlongs in July or later. Tracks with undulations or the all-weather. A mark of 95 or less and carrying 9 stone 6 or less. And under those conditions, he's 7 wins and a 2nd from 10 starts. That's all 7 of his career wins. Ultimately, as with these races, it's one of those where you could cover a few and still be wide of the mark. But I'm going to plump for Lethal Levi. I think there could still be more to come from him with the blinkers on. So Lethal Levi's my dart in the Stewards Cup. Tony, what have you got?
Just the one?
I will look at it again.
All right.
I will have more. By the time I've done my guide for members, there will be more. But
yeah,
Lethal Levi is my dart right now. He'll definitely be being played by me.
Yeah, and a big shout for Al-Bashir, which I've got on my shortlist as well. Back to winning ways on late. Started Ascot last month, beating 12 rivals ahead on good to firm ground off a £5 low mark. Goes on this ground. We'll love it tomorrow. I would think Al-Bashir, Holly Doyle in the saddle. I've also got, I would ask listeners to have a look at Rum Star, have a look at cover up and have a look at Get It as well, winner at Windsor in June and Epsom last month in a couple of Class 3 handicaps. Before only being beaten 3 3/4 lengths in the Heritage Handicap at Ascot on later start, and that's a good key race for this race as well, the Heritage Handicap at Ascot. But we've got I've got as well as Albashire, I'm with you on Lethal Levi. I'll be back in Lethal Levi, not beaten far in the Sky Bet Dash at York 12 months ago for similar mark. Cracking run in the Wokingham and later start in Newmarket in the Bunbury Cup. Lethal Levi around 12 to 1 at the minute and looks a little bit too big. One at a bigger price, Dream Composer, winner of the Epsom Dash at the start of June, beating 13 rivals a half a length off a £5 lower mark, beaten 1 length on later start in that Heritage Handicap I was talking about at Ascot, which is in the middle of July, the middle of last month, and that's a race worth checking out. So Dream Composer, the Epsom Dash winner, who is a little bit too big for me at 20 to 1, Lethal Levi at 12s, Albashire at 7s. Those are 3 for me in the Stewards Cup. I won't be keeping anything back like Ben because I've got no friends at all. On to top, middle and bottom.
The great thing about loving football is you cannot explain why you love it. It just happens. Chasing a ball round a park, wanting one team to win against the other.
El Mahoney, right foot, whips it. Oh, jeez, he peeps, man.
Well, can you believe it? It's round. It's come round again. The time has come. Top, middle and bottom is finally here. Yes, round 1 of top, middle and bottom season 24-25. Ben, how are you feeling about this one? Can you hear any little squeaks and think, it's my stomach?
No, I can't eat it, no.
Oh, thank God for that.
Need some grub in you.
It's making some very weird noises this morning, I tell you.
Well, we'll be finishing and then you can go and get a quick breakfast. Hopefully. Yeah, top, middle and bottom is back. Third year of our Scottish football, lower league football Trixie competition. Top, middle and bottom.
Third year.
Let the fun begin. The totals look great right now because neither of us are in negative.
Yeah, it's the best I've looked for 9 months.
Yeah, so let the fun begin. As I say, my first top, middle and bottom of this season. Top Scottish Championship, Livingston to beat Dunfermline at evens. Dunfermline don't have all that deep a squad this season. They've not made many moves to strengthen it up so far. That was quite clear by some average results in the recent League Cup games. Livingston are the opposite. They've had a big freshen up of their squad. And I'm going to take Livingston to get their campaign off to a winning start here. At middle, Scottish First Division, Montrose to beat Kelty Hearts at 8-11. And Montrose had some good results in the League Cup past couple of weeks. Kelty were the opposite. They struggled for goals. They rounded out their tournament with a 6-0 humping by Queen's Park. So Montrose should be too strong for them here. And it's a Montrose win for me. And bottom, Scottish Second Division, Spartans to beat Stranraer at 6-4. Spartans beat Stranraer in 3 of their 4 meetings last season. The other one ended a draw. I think they'll have Stranraer's number again this season. Stranraer lost 3 of their 4 League Cup games. Spartans won 3 of their 4 League Cup games. I think they can continue that form with a win here against Stranraer. That gives me a top, middle and bottom of top Livingston, middle Montrose, and bottom the Spartans. Tony, what you got? I don't know why they call themselves the Spartans.
I've got from the top Hamilton and Ayr to draw at 5-2. And then I've got Montrose to beat Kelty Hearts, like you, at 8-11. And despite Ben dumping already, the first game of the season, dumping now Clyde.
I bottled it.
Right turn, Clyde. Clyde away at Forfar, 11-8, with goals from Martin Rennie and Kyle Connell.
Go on, the boys.
Go on, boys. The boys. Sponsored by the Racing Podblast. So Hamilton and Ayr to draw, Montrose and Clyde also in them three in that treble. Many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing Podblast. Top, middle and bottom is back, and very best of luck with your bets at glorious Goodwood this weekend. 2 days left. If you're up nice and early in the morning during the week, you can catch my breakfast show with racing tips at 3bsradio.com, and also you can catch more from Ben over on narrowingthefield.co.uk. Thanks for listening this week. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you next week. See you, Ben.
See you, Tony.